Hi folks, welcome back. Today we have an article that is a tale about a US fighter in the military who fundamentally settles the score with his swindling spouse when he was conveyed into Iraq. He is sent, she doesn't believe he should go, she's weeping hysterically whatnot. They plan that he planned to clearly live modest with one of her companions for some time and pay off their obligation so that when he gets back, they can begin a family. He gets sent, and he begins to see after several months that she appears to be more far off. She's not as excited to converse with him. She answers his texts in 1- and 2-word answers, and he figures out that she's engaging in extramarital relations. So this person is in Iraq, and any day, something could occur. She's once again at home living on his checks and undermining him. I've heard a great deal of stories that obviously this occurs. These youthful folks are positioned abroad, and it appears to be that this happens a lot. It's intriguing and engaging here how he settles the score with her. The title of his story is Retribution on Deceiving Spouse, presently X, as well as the karma that came a short time later. It gets going saying, I'm in the military and I was hitched. I was moving toward my sending to Iraq. The person is certainly youthful here. It was exceptionally upsetting, and it had my better half believing I should figure out how to remain and not go. Clear things any spouse will attempt to discuss. We have no children except for we both want them, so we worked about escaping obligation while I'm gone. She converses with her closest companion back at home, in another state where we are both from. Her companion consents to give her move access and charge him $300 a month in lease, so we can escape obligation and begin a family when I get back home. An arrangement I was very satisfied with. I leave for Iraq, and she's there sobbing hysterically saying she will miss me and loves me, and we will begin a family when we get back home. Everything looks ok. Here's where things get to go south truly fast. Quick forward to 2 months, she begins acting far off, not having any desire to talk a lot on her booked calls. She texts back a couple of word replies. We've been together 6 years, and she's never speechless. Continuously focus on what a lady does, not what she says. On the off chance that out of nowhere for you folks in connections or dating, she stops energetically conversing with you. Assuming she's answering your messages in a couple of word answers, something's going on. Her advantage is dropping, and that could be a proactive factor at last. It is possible that she's attaching with another buddy, or she will say a final farewell to you soon. We should continue, at some point, she says I want some space, the exemplary line. She asks somebody who is 10,000 miles away for space. For what reason does she really want some space? She needs to track down herself. I recall when we inhabited home, she had a person who was continuously being fringe unseemly. It seems like the attractive ladies generally have that one person that is that way, and obviously they generally have a lot of male orbiters that are glad to hop in the subsequent moment you fire messing up. I'm not an exceptionally desirous individual and I trust her. I begin seeing this expressed person on essentially the entirety of her images that she posts inside a gathering, clearly in virtual entertainment. Each time she is in the image, everybody changes except him. Interestingly, I'm exceptionally envious and uncomfortable with everything. I clone her telephone so I get each message she gets as well as each message she sends. I will always remember the main message I saw subsequent to cloning her telephone. Hello darling, I'll see you after work. Maintain that I should save you any sort of extras. This was from her to him. It obliterated me. I shed 35 pounds in 7 days. I didn't eat or rest. I gazed at the telephone, watching each discussion. Watching them discuss attempting to have a child. It was in a real sense, all that a wedded individual feelings of trepidation. I inquired as to whether she is seeing somebody, and she says no, she isn't. She is dealing with herself and she adores me. Once more, focus on her activities, not her words. I expressed nothing about accepting her texts for a considerable length of time. He saved this calm for a considerable length of time. He's young. I would have confronted her immediately. Throughout this time, she at long last concedes cheating, and he is such a ton better than me in bedroom, treating her right, and does what she needs. Once more, this person is 10,000 miles away. At any second, something could happen to him. In the interim, she's getting the checks and partaking in past life on her better half, who she owns up to cheating, and will keep on getting the checks since it's not like he can separate from her, while he's positioned abroad. During this time, she takes care of our obligation, gets tattoos with him, matching I love you tattoos, goes to shows with him, purchasing garments and things with the cash I'm making. This is where the retribution begins. I put a freeze in the account for a month. In that time, I change each password to each record to things she won't figure out. I block her on Facebook and my telephone so she has no real way to reach me. She lost her vehicle to repo a couple of months after, got removed from her place, needed to sell her valued shoes and satchels just to remain alive. I then figure out she found a new line of work at her old cafe, so I post all the text discussions I have with her and the other person that have timestamps on them, as well as post discussions we had with the matching timestamps showing every one of them, what she had done. I then got companions call and grumble at her particular employment continually on both he and her. They work at a cafe, so I likewise have companions who eat and run. The two of them got terminated. She attempts to consider my order and let them know that I am leaving her and she can't accommodate herself. My authority knows what's happening. He does nothing since he had something almost identical happen to him. About a month prior to return, she calls me from one more number to let me know she is pregnant with his child. Huge astonishment. Keep in mind, I'm actually gone, so we can't get separated at this point. The thing about her reaching is commended. In the military, he'll F around in light of the fact that they don't need folks betraying their spouses, and that's what things like. They need request. One of my pals, quite some time in the past, a skipper in the Coast Gatekeeper, was responsible for one of the boats he was on. At the point when they would go on leave, this person kept tight control over everything, in all seriousness, and assuming that any of these folks were playing on their spouses, they would cause problems. He most certainly settled the score with her. It's truly miserable in light of the fact that I hear this constantly. It's actually a disgrace, yet he certainly settled the score with her. A fair consequence has been given for good for himself, and I trust this person truly takes care of business and most certainly gains from this hard experience. In the interim, she's left with that child. Clearly, this lady discovered another sucker to bring up this youngster, as long as she actually has her looks. Good folks, that is all there is to it for now. Leave a remark down underneath, let me in on your opinion on this, and make certain to like the video. Share with your companions and buy in. I'll get you sometime later.